we got a new friend joining us on the show this year, another former Oiler to add to the stable. And last time we said we had a former Oiler joining us on the show, it was Jason Demers, and he played one game. This guy maybe carries a bit more cred as a former Oiler because he actually played a couple of seasons. Tyler Ennis joins us on the show. Appreciate you having us on, man. Excited to be doing this with you.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Let's just start. We're going to get into obviously some hockey talk and whatnot, but retirement life, what's it been like for you? What was the summer like?
It's been good. It's been pretty chill. I was in Europe, so I was playing in Germany, and while I was over there, was able to do some traveling, check out some cool countries, hang out a bit, and then came back home, and now I'm in Kelowna just hanging out. So it's been a nice few months here, just relaxing and decompressing a bit.
Yeah, we had Brad Malone on when he announced his retirement, and we were talking to him a little bit about how, like, I mean, you were in the league for a decade. Brad played pro hockey for close to 15 years, I think. And it's like, okay, when you finally make the decision to retire and you're no longer training in the gym, all of that stuff, did you have the ability to just like, did you totally stop working out and just like kick your feet up, or were you still like kind of in that routine a little bit?
I mean, I was injured when I kind of decided I was done. So I had a lot of rehab to do. And then when I stepped away, I did a ton of traveling. So I was just kind of buzzing around Europe and just having a good time. And now that I've been back, I've tried to stay in shape a little bit, stay healthy. In no way, shape, or form the same condition I was in when I played, but it's still nice to get some sweats in and just kind of stay in general good health, I guess.
When you were playing in Europe, how different was it? Like sometimes you see these videos of just like the fans going nuts, and they're very much as that like soccer environment. Was there a moment you were like, oh wow, this feels way different to what the NHL is, which is obviously the best of the best?
The fans are amazing. I think the big difference is that the fans in Europe are kind of involved the whole game. So for 60 minutes, even before, after, they're singing and they got the drums going. They're crazy. They're all dancing and having a great time. Super interactive. And then in North America, there's obviously bigger crowds, but during the play, everyone's pretty just invested and focused on the play. Whereas in Europe, I found that like there was dancing and singing going on the whole game. So it was pretty cool and lots of fun for sure.
I'm convinced they don't even watch the games.
Are you?
Yeah, they just go there to sing and cheer and be loud.
Fair enough.
It's fun.
Well, favorite spot you traveled during your summer?
I really like Italy. I was able to kind of buzz around Italy and see a lot of the country, and I love food, and Italy's got some of the best food around. So good wine, good pasta, great scenery, good weather. So I had a lot of fun in Italy, and I'm going to head back over there and check out a lot of places that I wasn't able to see. So probably Italy would be my choice.
You're an Edmonton guy, obviously. We got our live chat going right now, and it's buzzing. And one question I love to ask guys at the end of their careers, and this is stemmed from a comment we got earlier in the chat of someone who remembers being at an outdoor rink when they were younger, and you were there, and the player you were there with was Matt Maropoulos, and he said we're just ripping up the outdoor rink. The question I like asking guys at the end of their career, the best player you ever played with, whether it maybe was overseas, maybe it was when you were younger, coming up through junior, best player you ever played with who didn't make it to the NHL. One guy who you practice with him, you're like, fuck, this guy is so nasty, and he just wasn't able to make the jump.
That's a good question. So 0 NHL games, because there's some guys that played
maybe a couple
games in the NHL that I was surprised that maybe didn't get more opportunity, but the best player when I was like in Bantam was a guy named Zach Daly, who was unbelievable. A little smaller guy, but kind of dominated. I kind of always thought he was going to be, make the NHL for sure. So, so many good young skilled guys when you're, 13, 14. But I think Zach Daly's still in Edmonton, maybe doing some coaching or something like that. But he was an amazing player.
All right. I want to switch gears a little bit. We were just talking about preseason hockey. The fact that there are 8 preseason games feels insane. We're seeing a bunch of guys get hurt right now. And I'm interested for your perspective on this because you're a guy who obviously went through a couple of different points in your career. There was early on 20 goals at the end. I mean, you took the PTO with Ottawa. How annoying is the preseason when you're maybe one of those guys with the guaranteed contract, you're going to be on the team? And did your perspective and your training camp experience change being a guy who was coming in at the end on a PTO?
Yeah, for sure. I think the longer you're in the NHL, the more you realize what's important and what you can maybe don't have to focus as much on. Um, so for me, when I was on a PTO, first of all, I had a good relationship with the coaching staff. I had been in Ottawa before, so there was a comfort level there. But just the simplicity of the game, you kind of realize over time. When you're younger, you kind of feel like you have to do something crazy every shift. You feel like you have to show your value every time you touch the puck. And I feel like older guys, when they're on PTOs, they often play pretty well because there's no pressure on them and they have a good instinct and they understand the game well. So, I yeah, it really depends on each situation, but for my PTO, I was super comfortable, and I was at the point in my career too where if it didn't work out, I was okay with it too. So pressure, the lack of pressure, I guess, sometimes is important on PTOs as well.
There was a video that went viral the other day of McDavid. I think it was after game 3 or during
Game 2
game
of the Cup
2
final.
of just like screaming at the guys in the dressing room.
Do we want to run it?
Yeah, do we have it?
Maybe let's run it.
Good enough. The final. Leave in right now.
Obviously, this is a side of McDavid that none of us outside of the dressing room would have seen before. But like, what is his leadership like, and how is he as a captain?
Yeah, I mean, that clip is kind of tough to watch because you feel so bad knowing the result, and you see, how much passion and emotion goes into it. And, it's just sad to see, knowing that those guys weren't able to pull through. And it was, yeah, tough to watch that one. But also, I think encouraging too, as an Oilers fan, to see, how much Connor cares and how passionate he is, and how encouraging that is for the season, because you know that pain, I think, will help throughout the course of the season, and that learning curve. And I think the Oilers are definitely going to be a dangerous team this year, just because of all of that. I mean, that's such, you can't get more of an education on winning than going that far.
I actually love that video.
I know.
Like,
Gets me fired
as an
up.
Oilers fan, like you said, like it sucks to know what ended up happening, but also the fact of like they clearly responded to that message too, because they went and won 3 of the next 4 games and did a good job of it.
Flip the script. Yeah. You were obviously in the room for a couple of seasons. You played in 5 playoff games as an Oiler as well. Did you ever see McDavid get to that level?
He's definitely a very good leader, and I think within the confines of the dressing room, he shows that more than maybe with the media. But I think that level, I mean, when you're in the Stanley Cup Finals, like, I can't imagine. I was never there, so to see that passion is, yeah, it was sad to watch, because you know what happens, and how much, like, how close they got. But yeah, I think Connor's a great leader, and I think even last year he will become an even better leader because of that. So yeah, lots of emotion in that video for sure. And I'm excited to see what the Oilers do this year because they got so close last year.
They got close last year, and it is, as much as the core group is the same with obviously the big pieces, there was a decent amount of roster tinkering done over the course of the last couple of months. You had the offer sheet drama, those guys going out. They brought in pieces like Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. But you're out of playing. You're into the media side of things now. Let's throw on the analyst cap. What did you make of their offseason and the pieces they brought in?
I thought it was good. You know, I think that Arvidsson is a big piece because he's super feisty and he gets in on the forecheck. It's always tough to speculate because everything, you know, changes so quickly in hockey. But what I remember of Arvidsson was being a hard worker. And I know he's slated to play with Leon, I think. At least that's what it seems like. And Leon played well when Yamo was with him, and Yamo was, you know, in on the forecheck and feisty. And I think Arvidsson is, you know, maybe gonna be similar in that, and he provides a veteran quality as well. I think that could be a good combination. It seems like the lines are never what they are to start the season, though, so you never know what happens. But on paper, I think that combination looks really good. I mean, Leon's got to be one of the easiest guys to play with in the world. You just put your stick on the ice, work hard, play smart, and he's gonna do everything for you. So I think Victor Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner are both great players, and they just basically gotta, you know, make sure their skates are on and tied properly because they're gonna have a good season. Leon's that good.
You got a chance to obviously play with both 29 and 97. When you're out there, like, do you play a different style? Do you feel like there's a different style of player that works best with either one of them?
I mean, they're so good that I think you have to be a smart player for sure. But I think effort and understanding how to let those guys do their thing, but also be able to keep up with them. It's probably more difficult to play with those guys maybe than it sounds, but if you're a smart player that works hard, it's not that hard, you know, because Leon and Connor are the two best players in the world. They'll make things work themselves. But yeah, I think they're different. They're very different. You have to have different players maybe that work better with both, but it's cool to see how well some additions have done with those guys. Like Zach Hyman has been amazing with Connor, and it would be nice to have someone really click with Leon.
You got one more before we go to the inbox?
We can go to the inbox.
All right, let's go to the inbox here. We got 800 people watching. Some of them are throwing in questions. So let's go. Great Clips inbox. More than 4,400 hair salons throughout the United States and Canada. Great Clips is the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. Locally owned and operated 7 days a week. For more information, go to greatclips.com. Great Clips. It's going to be great. You can go in with a picture of Tyler Ennis and say, I want my hair to look exactly like this. And they'll do it for you. I don't know if this person is related to you or if this is just a coincidence, but Mark Ennis is in the chat and says, can you ask Tyler who he believes to be the greatest fantasy football player of all time? He'll say himself 100%.
That's my cousin Mark. And yes, he's correct. It is without a doubt myself. He runs a league, and it's a dynasty league, and we've been doing it for like a decade. And I definitely have the most championships in that league, so it's tough to say that I'm not the best ever.
What's the team looking like this year? Who are your guys?
It's stacked. I sold everyone last year to build for this year, and it's like, yeah, it's gonna be an easy road to the final for sure. I got everybody.
selling it off the year before. Also, the regulars in our chat kind of have some weird tendencies. They get fixated on certain things. Like they always think the brick behind us is fake. You can tell it is very real. We laid it ourselves. But Colton is in and says, Tyler, you have to ask if the bricks are real. Lance says, as a bricklayer, I promise you they are fake. Are the bricks behind you real or fake?
Honestly, I was trying to figure out where to set up the camera and I didn't know where to put it. And I was like, this is a good spot. And I don't know if it's real or not. I just moved into this place. I think it's real. I can touch it maybe.
Yeah. All right. I love this.
It feels very real.
There you go.
Okay.
It's not like fake wallpaper, but I think it's real.
All right.
There you go.
Then I'm going with they're real. Last one I got for you, and this one comes from our producer. He has a file in our queue that is just labeled Ennis goal. I don't know why it's here. I don't know what goal it is. We're just going to blindly play it.
Because I thought it was sick.
All right, let's watch one Tyler Ennis goal. Oh, a Buffalo goal. Oh, that is ridiculous. Is that the nicest goal of your career, or is there another one that you think tops it?
No, that one's the best for sure. That was yeah, that was a good one. I got lucky a couple times there because puck kind of just ended up like there. So it was that was the nicest goal I've ever scored for sure. No question.
Zemgus Girgensons, Andre Mazzaros. That's a couple of Mazzaros is a sneaky good puck doku answer, but anyways, that's you don't care about that. All right, Tyler, really appreciate your time, man. Look forward to doing this throughout the year. We'll chat with you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
There you go. Tyler Ennis, the former Oiler, recently retired, and he's gonna
crazy goal.
That was
I've never seen that.
on Carey Price.
A nasty goal.
Good. Aaron did good producing. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.